Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your short take. Tonight we normally would have done our factivist report. We're starting to talk about the upcoming election, 2024 presidential election. We're starting to look at that on a state-by-state basis in terms of the Democrats that will be running in states across the nation as we work hard to win back the House and expand the Senate. That is the goal. We have got to take control if we are going to save democracy. And I understand that everybody's now seems to have some kind of fatigue over listening to Trump get indicted. So let's talk about Trump's history, because he did serve a first term. So let's take a look at what he did for the American people in his first term. And we're going to do this several times over the next several months. And tonight we're going to start with civil rights and some of the things that Donald Trump and his MAGA legislators managed to do his first term in office. He got off to a great start right away. In 2017, on February 22nd, the Justice Department Civil Rights Division and the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights jointly rescinded Title IX guidance clarifying protections under the law for transgender students. It was just sworn in January, okay? On March 6th, 1 week after Trump called on lawmakers to end the Affordable Care Act during an address to Congress, House Republicans released a proposal to replace the ACA with a law that would end the Medicaid program as we know it and defund Planned Parenthood. On March 17th of 2017, the Department of Housing and Urban Development removed links to 4 key resource documents from its website, which informed emergency shelters on the best practices for serving trans people facing homelessness and complying with HUD regulations. I mean, I've never before experienced documents like this that take people's rights away. Okay, I mean, it's amazing. I've got some more here. So that was 2017, and there are more. I mean, there are tons, and this will be in the YouTube version of the video. Okay, so let's look a little at 2018, okay? On January 8th of 2018, Trump renominated a slate of unqualified and biased judicial nominees, including 2 rated not qualified by the American Bar Association. On January 8th, he also announced his administration would terminate the temporary protected status designation for nearly 200,000 Salvadorans. On January 16th of 2018, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, under Mulvaney's leadership, announced that it would reconsider the agency's payday lending rule. Now, anybody knows anything about payday lenders? They are predatory. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was a place where people could be protected from that kind of predatory lending when they're desperate for money. On January 18th, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau abruptly dropped a lawsuit against 4 online payday lenders who unlawfully made loans of up to 950% APR in at least 17 states. That is what we call taking advantage of people who are in desperate situations, folks. There's more. Let's talk. We get into 2019. On August 28th of 2019, the Trump administration announced that some children born to U.S. military members and government employees working overseas wouldn't automatically be considered U.S. citizens. On September 12th, The Department of Education proposed removing gender-based harassment, including harassment based on gender identity, gender expression, and nonconformity with gender stereotypes from the Civil Rights Data Collection's definition of harassment or bullying on the basis of sex. So therefore, let's just call it open season on transgender people. Great guy, isn't he? Yeah. On October 1st, the Department of Agriculture unveiled new proposals to take away some state flexibility in setting benefit levels under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. I was on that program once. The administrator's third attempt in the past year to kick people off food stamps. Yeah. Yep, he's quite the guy, isn't he? Yeah. He's done a lot for the American people. On October 25th, Attorney General William Barr issued 2 decisions made through his certification power that will limit immigrants' options to fight deportation. On November 18th, the Social Security Administration published in the Federal Register a proposal to slash Social Security disability benefits, which would cut benefits for up to 2.6 million people with disabilities. The GOP, folks, has been going after Social Security and Medicare forever, okay? Forever. But those programs have been off the mark until Donald Trump. Nobody wants to touch those. Nobody wants to hurt people with those programs. Not until Donald Trump. And while we understand that there are other players out there, because Donald Trump will not be attending the debate. Instead, he's gonna spend this night with Tucker Carlson, and then he'll release a tape. And it will be the world according to Donald Trump. It will be his vision of everything, without anyone asking him questions and making him deal with anything that the American people might feel they need to hear from candidates. But let me remind everybody about this. There are other people out there running. There are other people in this debate. Nikki Haley, piece of garbage. Sorry, folks. Mike Pence, Ron DeSantis. They're all cut from the same cloth. And there's a guy named Chris Christie who's still out there maintaining that, cuts to Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid are essential to our survival. Any man talking like that does not deserve to poll above 2.6%. Okay? All of these Republicans, you will note over time, will be talking about what they can take away from the American people, not what they can add to the American people's lives that make their lives easier or better. Okay? Just like Donald Trump here, who's got a really bad record. Okay? A really bad record with this stuff. Let's talk about this. Let's go back to 2020. 2020 was a banner year because he was on his fucking way out. Okay? On January 7th of 2020, the Department of Housing and Urban Development issued a proposal that would gut the agency's 2015 affirmatively furthering fair housing rule. HUD's proposal would leave people of color, women, and other protected communities already harmed by unfair and unequal housing policies at a further disadvantage. On January 13th of 2020, the White House issued a statement of administration policy opposing H.R. 1230, the Protecting Older Workers Against Discrimination Act, thereby declaring open season on older workers. On April 30th, the Department of Education issued guidance flouting congressional intent under the CARES Act that directs school districts to share millions of dollars designated for low-income students with wealthy private schools. Donald Trump, he sure does have a great record, doesn't he? Yeah. Yep. These aren't the only things he's done, although just his human rights records alone are an abomination, and we will include this in the YouTube version so everybody has access to it. But we're going to be talking about his other policies too, other things that he has done as we move forward. And we will be talking about the other candidates on the other side of the aisle as well. But that's all I've got for you tonight. So I'll talk to you again soon.